If you look at the Notre Dame win total, it is set at 8.5, and it's juiced to the over because, of course, it is. You're always going to get a lot of over money on Notre Dame. So 8.5 in their 12-game schedule. And the bookends is really challenging. There's no doubt. But the win total is probably going to be decided what happens in between. Game 1, they start at Ohio State. I think most of us can lock that in as a loss. So if you're going to go over 8.5, you're looking at going over 9-2 on the rest. Well, they end the season at USC. If I was going to play against USC, I'd prefer to play them in the front half of the season as opposed to the last regular season game. But that's the hand that Notre Dame has dealt. So they've got those two tough ones to open and wrap up the season. But aside from that, it's not all that challenging. Unfortunately for the Irish, the big weaknesses that this team's going to have is on offense, and it's at two of the more impactful positions. Number one, you've got quarterback, just a lot of inexperience there. It looks like it's going to be Tyler Buchner, a mobile quarterback, got a little time last year. Drew Pine got a little time as well. So the most important position is a question mark, and then receiver depth is also a big problem. Anytime anything happens with any of these Notre Dame receivers, you see a lot of the college football insiders tweeting about this, like, okay, they have limited depth to start with. This could be a problem. However, they do have one of the best offensive weapons in the country at tight end in Michael Mayer. He had 15 explosive plays last season. So the offense is clearly going to run through Mayer once again. But can I go with the over? I think the Irish are going to have a fine season. They'll be just fine. The problem is the first game and the last game. And with a rookie head coach who has not been through this in the past, is he going to make mistakes with game management in the middle of the season? You better believe it. And as a Notre Dame fan, there are most seasons when they end up losing games they have no business losing, where they're, multiple score favorites. So I would not play the minus 150 to the over here, but Notre Dame is going to be one of those fascinating teams that people take a close look at. That mid part, the majority of the regular season, the schedule looks soft, but for a rookie head coach, I'm sure there will be some stumbling blocks along the way. So I would not be interested in the over 8.5. The Irish will not be a championship contender. I don't see them being in the mix for the playoff this year.